everyone, ready to dive into something really fascinating. Today, we're tackling individuation.
And no, we're not talking about those personality tests you see everywhere.
Right, we're going deeper than that. Think uncovering your most authentic self.
It's about understanding those masks we all wear.
Yeah, and even confronting those hidden parts of ourselves, the ones we try to ignore.
It's a journey.
Speaking of masks, it reminds me of something Jung talked about, the persona.
Jung believed we develop different personas, think of them as masks we wear, to navigate social situations.
Oh, absolutely. Like how you act at work versus with close friends, totally different, right?
Exactly. You're not cracking the same jokes at a family dinner as you are with your buddies.
Definitely not. It's like having different personalities for different situations.
It's essential for fitting into society, building relationships.
Right, but I can see how that could become a problem. Like, do you ever lose yourself in those roles?
That's the risk. Over-identifying with a specific mask can leave you feeling fragmented, like you're living someone else's life.
And then figuring out who you are underneath it all, that's the challenge.
Exactly.
So where does the shadow come in? That part always seems mysterious.
It can seem mysterious because it represents the parts of ourselves we hide.
Okay, so the stuff we don't want others to see, but we also hide it from ourselves.
Often, yes.
Ugh.
These can be negative traits like anger or jealousy, but also positive qualities we've buried.
Wait, so it's not just about our bad qualities?
Not at all. It's about understanding that we are complex. We have both light and dark aspects.
So it's more about those hidden parts, good or bad, that we haven't fully acknowledged.
Precise.
I'm starting to see why this is called shadow work, but how do we deal with those hidden parts?
It's not about making them disappear. Integrating your shadow is about acknowledging those hidden aspects with honesty and compassion.
Okay, so we don't try to erase those parts of ourselves. Are there specific things we can do to start that integration process?
There are several tools. Journaling can be incredibly valuable.
So like writing down our thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. Meditation can also be helpful.
That makes sense. Meditation helps us become more aware of our inner world.
Right. And therapy, of course, can be beneficial.
Having someone to guide you through that process, I like that. So it's like having a conversation with that hidden part of ourselves.
You could put it that way.
But instead of a scary confrontation, it's about understanding where those feelings are coming from.
That's a great way to think about it.
So we've talked about the persona, that mask we show the world, and the shadow, the hidden parts we try to ignore. But it sounds like there's even more to this individuation puzzle.
You're right, there's another layer. Jung believed that besides integrating our shadow, we need to balance our masculine and feminine energies. He called these the Animus and Anima.
Masculine and feminine energies. That sounds a little like gender stereotypes.
It's not about conforming to those stereotypes. Instead, it's about recognizing that these energies exist within all of us, regardless of gender identity.
So how does this imbalance show up in someone's life?
Good question. Let's say there's a woman, super driven in her career, a total go-getter. But her personal relationships are always a struggle. She's always putting her own needs aside to please others.
Oh, I know people like that. They forget to take care of themselves because they're so busy taking care of everyone else.
Exactly. That's an example of where the Animus and Anima come in. She might need to tap into her Animus, her inner masculine energy, to set boundaries and prioritize her needs in those relationships.
So it's not about becoming more like a man, but accessing those qualities of assertiveness, self-reliance that we associate with masculine energy.
Exactly. And on the flip side, imagine a man who's all logic, very stoic, sees emotions as weakness, avoids them at all costs.
Oof, yeah, that would cause problems in relationships too. Bottling things up isn't healthy.
Right. He might benefit from connecting with his anima, his feminine side, embrace vulnerability, empathy, connect with others on a deeper level.
This is making a lot of sense. So it's about finding that sweet spot, that internal balance. But how do we actually do that?
Well, Jung was big on tapping into our unconscious to access these deeper parts of ourselves. He believed dreams were a direct line to our unconscious.
Dream analysis, that's something I can get behind. So we should be keeping a dream journal.
Exactly. Write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. Pay attention to recurring symbols, themes. They can reveal a lot about what's happening beneath the surface.
And this helps us understand the shadow, the animus and anima we've been talking about.
Yes, it's about deciphering those messages. And it's not just about interpretation. Jung also developed this technique called active imagination.
Okay, I'm listening. What's active imagination?
Essentially, it's having a dialogue with your unconscious. You might imagine a conversation with a figure from your dream, or with your shadow self, even your animus or anima.
So we can actually have these conversations in our minds. How do we even start with that?
It might feel strange at first, but it's about tapping into your imagination, letting those inner voices speak. Imagine a quiet, safe space. Invite that part of yourself you want to understand better to join you. Maybe it's a figure from a dream or your shadow self.
And we would talk to this imagined figure, ask it questions.
Exactly. Ask them what they need from you, what message they're trying to convey.
That's incredible. It's like having all these tools to connect with parts of ourselves we didn't even know were there.
Exactly. And these tools like dream analysis and active imagination, they're not just for self-discovery.
There's more.
They're part of a larger journey, what Jung called the process of individuation, becoming our most authentic selves.
Okay, individuation, authentic selves is getting a little abstract again. How does understanding my shadow or talking to my dream self actually lead to this authentic self?
That's the heart of Jungian psychology,
Right.
the concept of the self.
The self. But what exactly is that? Is it different from just being me?
Think of it this way. Every day, you're making decisions, reacting, feeling emotions. That's your ego at work. The self is the totality of who you are, conscious, unconscious, shadow, light.
So the self is like the entire orchestra, and our ego is just one instrument.
I like that analogy. The self is the bigger picture, the wisdom that guides us toward wholeness and individuation. It's about integrating all those parts, persona, shadow, masculine and feminine energies, into this unified self.
So it's not about reaching some perfect final version of ourselves.
Not at all. Jung saw it as a lifelong journey, a continuous process.
That takes the pressure off, because who actually feels like they have it all figured out?
Exactly. It's about embracing the journey, the constant unfolding of who we are.
This has been eye-opening. We talked about masks, shadows, the dance between masculine and feminine inside us, and this idea of the self. A lot to think about.
It really is. And while we've covered a lot, this is just the beginning of your own explorations. There's no right or wrong way to approach it.
So where should our listeners even begin?
Start by paying attention. Notice patterns in your life, those dreams that stick with you. Maybe start a dream journal or try active imagination. And be patient with yourself along the way. It's a journey, not a race.
Such wise words to end on. And as always, thanks to all of you for joining us. Check out the show notes for links and resources if you want to dive deeper. Until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep embracing all the incredible complexities that make you, you.